What's the key to have your task list empty? Delete. Hi there, this is Matt Sierra and this is Business 2.0, the program, the show where we're talking about how to earn more, how to spend money in more intelligent, smart way, and just simply how to live a better life. And today we're gonna talk about passive income. We already know that it is possible because there are many people in the world who have some passive income, and in the last episode I showed you a couple of ways of methods that you can use in order to get your passive income. So it's definitely not gonna be easy, but it's always possible. Hard, but possible. But as you know, probably everything that is important in life can be tough to obtain, to gain. So let's not complain about the reality, because the reality is as it is. So now we're gonna talk about further possibilities that I didn't cover in the last episode. If you haven't seen the last episode, I invite you deeply to check it out, because there are a couple of methods that I will omit today, because today I'm gonna focus on different things. I'd also like to remind you that below this video you're gonna find the link. And with this link, when you click it, you're gonna download the free episode when I cover all this, probably not all, but many of Elon Musk's strategies of success. So it's more or less 60 minutes of additional knowledge for free, or maybe not for free, because for your email, because I wanna stay in touch with you. So check it out. And right now, let's begin with today's episode, and I'm gonna show you next ways to get passive incomes. Also thinking which are the most effective, which are the easiest to generate, to create, and which are slightly pointless, because there are also ways which seem better than they are in reality. So let's begin. Is it easy to start investing in real estate? Of course, it's very difficult, because you need a lot of money. Even if you use credits, then still you need some 10% or 20% to just start, to just obtain the credit. So it's not easy to start. But then your possibility, it's very easy to get to the point of $1,000 per month, because if you rent the house, if you rent the flat, the apartment, then you're gonna earn some money, and it's very easy to foresee the amount of money that you're gonna earn. So there's no something like, there's clarity, yeah? How many apartments you need in order to earn $1,000 per month, $2,000, what type of house would you like to buy to earn this amount of money, and so on. This market is pretty strong, and that's why it's also pretty safe. That's why it's kind of predictable. I would say it this way. Your activity to maintain your income is pretty small. Yeah, because once you buy a piece of real estate, you've got it, and you rent it, then you only have to get the money every single month. That's it. Of course, from time to time, once in a blue moon, you're gonna be forced to do something. Yeah, like to fix something, to exchange the washing machine and so on. But we shouldn't rather call it hard work. Yeah, so the maintenance is pretty easy. And the advantages are that you earn, although you still have. Yeah, so for example, if I invest $1 million in marketing my company, I lose the money. So after spending it, I don't have it. I hope that this marketing campaign will get me to the point of having 2 million. It can happen, but it also is possible that it will never happen. Yeah. So I never know. But if you buy an apartment, You earn not only because you're renting it, but you earn also because you're having it. You still have it. You always have it. Well, there are many possibilities. Wars, mundane things that, for example, someone created this building in a wrong way and it doesn't work, doesn't want to stand there anymore. A lot of things, but there's insurance and so on. But generally, you're gonna still have the real estate. And in some countries, in some times, in some political situations, this kind of real estate will get more and more expensive every single year. It depends on the country, of the situation, of the particular moment, but it is possible because there's only one Earth, as for now. So maybe their value will grow with time, especially if you've invested well. So you've got your real estate in good cities, good countries, and so on. So you earn, but you still have. That's pretty nice. Another advantage is that some of you will use credits. I deeply hate credits. I avoid credits, and I'd prefer not to invest anything that invest with not my personal money. But for many people, credits are some kind of leverage, so they can invest more. Yeah, because you're probably not gonna get a credit for 25 years to invest in stocks. It's rather impossible. But with real estate, it's possible and easy, and everyone does it. So you can invest more than you can have. Of course, there's always the risk that you can go bankrupt, and depending on the country. In the US, it's much easier than, for example, in many European countries, because in the US, if you're screwed with a piece of real estate and you can't pay your mortgage anymore, then, as far as I know, they take the home, for example, or the apartment, and that's it. They close the credit and the case is over. In most of European countries, if you screw your mortgage, they take your home, they sell it, they want to sell it quickly, so they sell it for half price, for example, so the other half is still your debt, which means that you don't have a house and still owe them 50% of the value of the house, although you don't have anything. So that could get pretty shitty in some places. So it depends on the place you're in, but so it can be risky. But we should consider it an advantage that you could use other people's money to invest in real estate. Now, the disadvantages, there are some problems with some people. I mean, you rent a house or some other place to a guy who doesn't want to pay, and again, it depends on the law of the country or the state that you're in. It's gonna be hard or easy. Usually it's gonna be hard to get rid of such a person because there's constitution. The person couldn't be homeless, for example. In my country, it's pretty complicated. That the constitution guarantees the place to live in, which means that if I have the guy and he stopped paying me, I can't make him homeless, which means that he has to stay there because it's his only place, although he doesn't pay. So I've invested a lot of money to buy this flat or apartment, house, to earn on it, and I can't do anything about it. Well, I could call some guys to convince the guy to leave the place, but that would be illegal and I could get into trouble. So yeah, it's not easy, and it depends on the law which works for you in your country, in your state, in your place. So it could be problematic. Maybe you're gonna even have a client who's gonna pay, but you're gonna hate the guy because talking to him is gonna be such tragedy that you'd rather avoid it, but you will not be able to avoid it. So it's kind of disadvantage. Of course, another disadvantage is that you will have to fix the place from time to time because furniture could be destroyed with time, could be just worn off. Yeah, so it will need to be exchanged into a new one and so on. So there will be additional costs. In the stock market, it's easier to predict because your broker wants some percentage of your money every single month or year, so you know what to expect. In real estate market, sometimes it could happen something completely unexpected and you will have to invest a lot more. And even there are some cases like Lionel Messi, the famous soccer player, who bought a hotel for 30 million pounds and had to destroy it because it didn't comply the law. And he probably has lost every single penny. So it's possible. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there are some insurance, I don't know exactly, about something unexpected can happen. That's a set true on investing in real estate. And the last disadvantage is that it's not gonna make you a millionaire. It's not gonna make you, how much would you have to invest in real estate in order to not have the need to work? Well, probably you would have to buy real estate for, I don't know, a couple of $1,000,000 in order to earn as much that will give you the opportunity to leave your work, leave your job, and don't do anything at all. So it's not as easy. Yeah? Like the return on investment is usually pretty low, and most of the people buy real estate mainly not because they want to earn a lot of money, but because they don't know what to do with their money. They've invested in some risky things like Bitcoin, and they want to have their money somewhere else than on their bank account, because on their bank account it loses its value. So they want to put it somewhere, and real estate is always the great place to start. So that's a pretty hard disadvantage. Comparing it to your digital products, for example, it's extremely difficult. It's extremely expensive. Okay, so if we're talking about real estate, then we've got flipping. Real estate flipping, which means buying an apartment, preparing it, fixing it, and then selling it with some decent income. Pretty easy, obvious. Is it easy to start? Well, it depends if you've got money or not, because if you don't have money, then it's not easy to start. Because in the world of flipping the real estate, buying and selling quickly, you've got to be quick, because there are other people who also want to do the same thing, which means that most of the people buy those apartments or houses with cash. So if you don't have cash, and if you tell the seller that he will need to wait for 1 month until you get some credit, then probably someone else will buy this nice, good piece of real estate in the meantime. So it's not easy to start because you will need money. Is it easy to earn $1,000 per month? I would argue that it's extremely easy. Because if you're really interested in real estate market, so then you know how it works, what to buy, how to sell, and so on, and how to fix the apartment or the house, then it's pretty predictable. You know that if you invest $500, then you will buy it for $500, then you will fix it for $100, so you've spent $600. You could be pretty sure, or it could be predictable that in this particular city you're gonna sell it for $700, which will make you richer by $100,000. Yeah, so you're gonna invest 600, you're gonna earn 700, and that's predictable. So it's extremely easy to earn $1,000. But someone would argue that this is not a passive income. This is buying houses, fixing them, and then selling them. This is a normal classical business. active business. Yeah, but it's completely outsourceable. And I've done it a couple of times. Even now, even today, on my apartments, there are people who do everything. They fix everything. The only thing that I had to do was to buy those apartments. And right now, I've hired a person who organizes everything. It's even impossible for me to organize it as I'm not an expert. So I don't know how to do it, how to fix it, what contractors to find. So I've got a pretty ingenious lady who organizes everything, who finds the right people to do it, and who's paid to organize the whole project. So in the end, I'm only gonna need to sell it, which also I'm not gonna do by myself, because I'm gonna call another person who's a great real estate agent, and I will give her the keys and she will do the rest. So it is, in my case, it's completely passive income, and that's why I know that it's possible. So it is. Okay, so what are the advantages that you don't have any people there? I mean, the people who rent your apartment or house, because you bought it only to fix it and to sell it. So there's no rent in the middle. Okay, so there are no those problems related to people who rent your apartments. Another advantage is that it's tough to lose a lot of money, because even if you buy something too quickly in the heat of a moment, and then you see that, well, that wasn't the best deal of your life, especially in this particular city, like you omit the fact that thousands of people are leaving Chicago. So, for example, you invest in Chicago and you don't know that there are a lot of people live in the city, which means that there is a possibility that the prices will go down with time. It depends on various factors, but it is possible. Yeah. So it can happen, but still you're going to have this house or this apartment. So you're not going to lose all. Probably you're not going to even lose a lot of money. So that's why it's pretty nice, because you've buying something that has a real value and it's going to be there. If you buy some insurance, it shouldn't be destroyed, and so on. Okay? The disadvantages, well, the disadvantages are that the market itself is out of your control. Yeah, there can happen some things. I mean, in the US, you had the terrorist attacks in the past, yeah, like World Trade Center and so on. So we never know, because life is unpredictable, and there could be some war, some terrorist attack, some pandemic number 2. There are plenty of things, or just political stuff, like for example, maybe it's just theory, but only an example. In Ukraine, probably 10 years ago, the real estate could cost the same in various big cities. But right now, I bet that the prices are higher in the cities that are further from their Russian neighbors. Yeah, because on their east, there is some war, which means that probably no one wants to buy an apartment there in those cities. People, Ukrainians probably, presumably, and I bet they prefer buying flats and moving to the center part of Ukraine or to the western part, yeah, because it would be the logical thing to do. So the situation changed, yeah. Maybe in the past the prices would be equal, but right now they are probably different. I'm no expert in the Ukrainian real estate. I'm just giving you this as an example. So various things can happen, and that's the disadvantage, because it's not like with Bitcoin. If the situation becomes shitty in your country, then you can take your Bitcoins with you and go anywhere. Your shares, the same situation, but your real estate is gonna be there. You're not gonna move it. So that's it. That's kind of risky thing. And now let's go to the to your rights, to your if you own some rights. For example, you create some digital product, some book or ebook, then you can use the scalability, which means that, for example, you can sell the rights to sell this product somewhere in new places, new cities, or even new countries. So you can even create some kind of franchise, and people will pay you to have the opportunity to sell your products, to sell your books, and so on. The best example is Joanne Rowling, who created Harry Potter series, and she still earns a lot of money day by day even. Not only week by week and month by month, but she earns a lot of money day by day, although she had written the book many 20 or even more years ago. But she still earns a lot of money. But she sold the rights, and she earns also in the countries that she never visited. I don't know if she visited Albania, for example, but I'm pretty sure that Albanians also read Harry Potter. So, the same with the rights for the movie, because I don't know how much money she earned with it, but I guess millions of bucks, only because she had created Harry Potter. So in order to create the movie, they had to pay her. Of course, you're gonna tell me, Matt, but don't give me extreme examples of some multi-millionaires who created the piece of art that I'm not gonna ever create. Of course, yeah, that's true. But you can create anything and just search for the people who would like, who search for the business ideas, for business opportunities. I don't even know how it happened, but once, because in my publishing house, we also create books for children, which are intended to teach children how to be an entrepreneurial children. A pretty exceptional idea. And once some lady from Sweden called us and asked if we would like to sell those books in the Swedish market. And right now we've got our books in Swedish also. Why? Well, we've never planned it, but it happened. We've got those books in a couple other languages. My personal book is gonna be published this month in Spanish and probably in English in 2 months also. So it is possible to do, especially if you do it on purpose, because maybe it's gonna happen randomly by accident, but probably you're gonna need to put some effort to do it. But once you open up to those opportunities, you will see that there are plenty of them. So you should think about it. Is it easy to start? Yeah, well, I would say it is easy because you already have your product or your service. So you probably only need to visit a lawyer in order to prepare all the agreements, because you've got to fulfill the legal requirements and so on. But it's not 10 years of preparing, yeah? So I would argue that this is easy. Is it easy to earn $1,000 per month with that? Well, it depends. It's definitely harder than earn by selling your products yourself. Because in order to have a nice partner, probably you're gonna have to try with 5 partners, and one of them will finally turn out to be a professional, to be a guy who really wants to sell your products, to engage in doing so. So it's not as easy. It's not as easy, but it is possible. Your activity could be minimal. Yeah, like if this person starts selling your products abroad or in different cities where there's no your branch, then your activity could be pretty low, because they will run the branch, they will organize everything, so your activity could be pretty low. So now the advantages. Well, this is the creative work, because you can open up yourself for foreign markets, for other cities, other states, and so on. So this is pretty interesting, pretty creative, and very, very nice. And also, it's kind of leverage, because you've already had those products, and right now you can somehow multiply them. Yeah, because I had already created my books. I had already written them, and soon I will sell them to the Mexicans, to Spanish guys, to Americans, and so on. So I don't have to invest much more time. Some time, yeah, in order to organize it, but not right in again. Yeah, so that's it. That's a strong advantage. A disadvantage is that usually it will not bring you a lot of passive income. Yeah, so probably you're not gonna earn a lot of money with that. You're gonna earn some additional money unless your product will turn much more successful abroad or in different state than it had been in Europe. It can happen. That's why, for example, most European IT companies create the software which they sell in America, because they know that there's more money, yeah? And there's more need. So I personally know some people from Poland, from Ukraine, from Albania, that create a piece of good software which will never be sold in those countries. So even their fellow Polishmen, Ukrainians, Albanians, and so on don't even know that this piece of software exists, because they don't even have the opportunity to buy it, because only people in Miami can buy it, or maybe even some not regular people, but some corporations. So that can happen, but it depends on the product. Yeah, usually it doesn't happen, especially in the world of products different from software. So yeah, that's it. The next one could be the most interesting and strangest one, because it's automatizing and outsourcing your business. From time to time, it's easier than you think to create a huge passive income. I mean, maybe your company already earns $10,000 per month, 20, 50. It can be changed into passive income. How? Well, you've got to learn a lot. You've got to learn how to outsource things, how to believe in people, how to organize it, how to prepare yourself, how to protect yourself. But in the end, your company could be run without you, or maybe even if it runs with you, with your activity, it could be much lower than before. Only then you're becoming a businessman, because an entrepreneur who's got a small company and he has to be there every single day, because otherwise the company would go bankrupt in a week, he's not a businessman. Yeah? A businessman or a businesswoman is a person who has a business, which means a system which works by itself. And we can watch it, we can have this vision and create new solutions and future plans. But still, we don't have to work with it, to work there. Yeah, we have to work on it, creating new ideas and strategies, but it runs by itself. And if you don't know how to do it, then subscribe my channel, because here you're gonna have a lot of things about this particular topic, because I've learned it the hard way, like losing a lot of time and money. But finally, I found out that it was possible. Yeah, that for example, in order to expand my company into foreign markets like American market or Spanish market and Brazilian market, I had to diminish the amount of time that I spend in my native company, native language, and so on, because I don't have more time. So I don't work a lot there, almost nothing, because I focus on doing it abroad. But there are trusted people who are good at their job, and they are doing the work. So everything runs perfectly and earns. Probably this year it's gonna earn even more than the last year. Although for the last couple of months I'm not engaged in those things. So how is it possible? Well, it is. Is it easy to start? I would argue that this is pretty difficult to start. Not because outsourcing thing is very complicated, but it created creates mental problems. Not like suicidal thoughts, but I mean mental problems, well, from time to time also. But I mean, mental problem is that we don't trust people. I know that they will do it worse than I would do it. So you have to let it go. You have to trust in people and accept the fact that from time to time they will screw it. But anyway, from time to time you would screw it anyway. Yeah? So, but sometimes they will screw it more than you would screw it. But still, you're gonna have 5 people working 8 hours per day instead of you working even 16 hours per day, but only being alone there. Yeah. So still, you will achieve a lot of more success outsourcing people, sharing your money with other people. Especially that you can't be good at everything. So you couldn't be an expert of web design, Facebook marketing, Google Ads, personal branding, creating your products, creating your services. It's pretty impossible. So you have to share your money with the experts in their fields. And only then you're gonna earn more, and only then you're gonna reach the point where you can work less. Okay, so it's not easy to start because you have to jump over yourself, jump over your, I don't know how to call it, precognitions, jump over your fears. But once you do it, you will always want to do it. And what's more, is it easy to earn $1,000 per month doing this? Yeah, probably that's the easiest way of the whole today episodes. Yeah, so because probably your company already earns such money, which means that if you change it into passive company or almost passive company, then it's not gonna go down. Probably it's gonna go even up. So it's easy. And the activity that you need to maintain it is not gonna be too much. Yeah. So probably you're gonna have to do something, but not much. Once you learn how to outsource, then you will have this ability for life. Advantage number one. The advantage number one is that's the way for most passive money, passive income. Like it's the company which runs by itself, which is possible because you can see McDonald's everywhere. And you're not gonna tell me that the McDonald's owner visits Albania every single week because he earns there. But he's not there. Maybe he was never there, even a single once. But he earns a lot of money in Albania, in Ukraine also, in France, and so on. So that's it. So it is possible, and that's the great advantage, that it's the way for biggest amount of passive income. Another advantage is that you do it anyway. So probably if you're a business owner, then you do this business anyway. So that's nothing additional. Yeah, because stocks could be additional. Real estate could be a new thing in your life. But if you do the business, then you're gonna still do it. But you could, and even you should, automatize it, outsource a lot of things in order to have more time to work on strategy instead to work in the office. So that's it. So you do it anyway. The disadvantages are that you have to trust people. Yeah, like you have to give them the access for your company email box, for example, or you have to give them your debit cards and so on. So a couple of bad things could happen because of that, but a lot more good things will happen because of that. But that's kind of disadvantage, that you have to learn how to trust people. It's not easy. And what's more, you will pay when someone else screws it. Yeah. So, for example, people will always blame the owner. So your worker will do something bad, will say something shitty to your customer, the customer will be pretty unhappy. The customer will give you 1 star everywhere on the internet, and he will be right, because he was offended by your worker. And no one cares that it was your worker, that it was your new worker, it was his or her first day, and that was not the right person to hire. No one cares that you fire this person the very next day. No one cares. The people care that you screwed it, because your worker offended the customer. So that's your fault, and you're gonna pay for it. Yeah? And you've got to accept it. That's kind of disadvantage, because it's impossible to be responsible for every single mistake in your company. Some mistakes just happen, and some other people help them to happen, but it's not your fault. But the customers will take it for granted that it is your fault. But that's the reality of being a business owner. So you should live with that. Okay, so that was definitely the best one, but let's move on. Right now, we've got the upsell or cross-sell. If you already have your business, your product, maybe you should earn more, even without having new clients. Because for many companies, the recurring income from recurring clients who just come back once again and again is the biggest part of their whole income. Like in some companies, it's even 80 or 90% of the whole income. No, not the new clients, but the recurring clients who come again and again. So maybe you should invest more time and money in them. Cross-sell means that you're gonna sell an additional product. Like a person buys a laptop in your shop, so you convince this person to buy also a computer mouse. Yeah, so you add something. Yeah, like it's this famous question made in McDonald's, if you want a French fries additional. Yeah, and a couple of percent of people, more than 10, as far as I know, say yes, okay, why not? And well, it increases the turnover by millions. So it works. So that's cross-sell. Upsell is when someone wants to spend $1,000 for a laptop in your shop, but you convince him to buy a laptop for $2,000. So your sale goes up. That's why it's called upsell. Yeah, of course, to do it ethically, you should only convince the customers who really, in your eyes, really need the more expensive laptop. Because, well, there are some wolves of Wall Street who convince everyone to everything, only to get more commission. But if you're an ethical entrepreneur, and I hope you are, then you only do those upsells when you can, when you see that it would be really better for a client to buy the more expensive piece of furniture, of product, or whatever, or service, and so on. So, doing only those two things, thinking about additional products or better versions, maybe your most expensive products costs $500. So my question is, why you don't have any product for $2,000? Why? Why? Tell me why. And maybe that's the moment to create such a product, not to end the funnel that they go through at this point. Maybe there are further points which will give you more money because you're gonna do upsells, cross-sells, and so on. So is it easy to start? Yeah, it's very easy to start because you only have to create the product, which, well, depending on the industry, but in some industries it could be created in weeks. So it's easy to do it. Maybe you already have some products like this, but you don't add them. You don't offer them to the customers because you've always thought that the customers will add to their cart everything that they need. But maybe if you put some additional offer in the checkout box on your online shop, then half of them would just click it. Yeah, add this to my cart. So think about it. It's easy to start. It's easy to earn additional $1,000 using this method, and your activity to do it and maintain it is going to be extremely low. An advantage is that you solve the problem of a client. Yeah, because doing this upsell or cross-sell, you give him the opportunity to solve additional problems. Maybe he wanted to have a message done by you, but he left your place not only feeling great after this message, but also he bought some food supplements or vitamins from you, so he doesn't have to visit the pharmacy, the drugstore, because you sold it to him or her. So not only you earned more, but he's got the solution for another problem. So you solved two problems. Yeah? His pain in the back and his lack of vitamins, for example. So isn't it great? Yeah, it is. It could be a great advantage of this. The disadvantage is that you are responsible for the quality of the product you recommend. Yeah, because sometimes, and I know a couple of companies which recommend the products or services that are not theirs. Yeah, so for example, a kind of developer which creates new buildings, he recommends some guys who will prepare and create all the furniture and so on. Yeah, so you buy the real estate from one guy, but he gives you the number of his friend who will do all the rest to prepare this apartment to be sold further or to be rented and so on. So he takes the responsibility for his friend because he recommended me the friend. Of course, he's gonna get his commission probably, but it's also a good idea if you don't have your additional products, or you only have your one product and you don't want to create more because if you're running out of time or something like this, then you could use other people's products. But you should remember that people will blame you if those products are going to be shitty. Okay? That's kind of disadvantage. And the last one are the shares, but not classical shares in the stock market, but I mean achieving part of the company. I give you the example. There are plenty of people who have a lot of great ideas, but they lack something. They lack money, for example. And for example, in my country, I've created the first and only gym for entrepreneurs. No one had created something like this before. So the place where people can do their training and also to do some networking, to get to know with other entrepreneurs, to have a coffee and sit there for 2 hours speaking about business. So entrepreneurs don't have a lot of time, so we prepared everything for them. So they don't even have to take their clothes from home because we've got clothes for them, everything prepared. So they can jump in right away out of the blue. They can have the idea that today they need to train. So that's a pretty great and unique solution. But how was it created? Well, my personal trainer, with whom I've trained for 4 years, once told me that his dream is to open his own gym, which would be unique, pretty different, very original, and so on. But opening a gym costs. It takes a lot of money. I didn't have time to do it myself, although the idea was pretty appealing to me. Yeah, that's a great idea. I really crossed my fingers that you're gonna achieve it. But I couldn't personally do it because I don't have time. I've got my businesses, a lot of them, a lot of projects and so on. So it wouldn't be possible for me to do it. But it would be possible to him. He only needed money. And I didn't have time, but I had money. So we made a deal and we've created the joint venture where I gave him all the money needed. So he didn't have to invest a single penny to do it. And I don't invest a single minute to do it. So he invests time, I invested money, and we share the income 50-50. So it's not like buying some shares of a company which is not mine and I will only get 1% of it. Here, I've got 50% of the company. Only investing money. So that's kind of passive income idea, and a lot of important people do it. Yeah, like a lot of businessmen do it. A lot of VC capital is the whole idea. So that's it. But you could be your personal venture capital. Yeah, you could invest your money, or maybe not money. If you don't have money, then take it easy, because maybe you have something else. Maybe you've got more time, or maybe you've got some ideas. Maybe you could be a mentor. So there are plenty of possibilities. So it's hard to start. Yeah, you're not gonna start it having nothing, because in order to have 50% of someone else's company, not having the necessity to work there, then probably you're gonna need to have something else. So it's not an easy task to start. It's not an easy task to earn $1,000 per month, because every single business needs time, months, sometimes even years to start earning. So maybe it's not extremely difficult, but it's not as easy to have the $1,000 of passive income this way. But your activity could be extremely low, because that's gonna be someone else's business, although partially yours, but someone else will be more interested in developing it and doing everything that is needed there. So advantages are that you could help people. I mean, not only help your clients, which is always obvious in the business, but I mean, help to create or to put someone else's ideas into life. Yeah, because without my help, for example, my personal trainer wouldn't create this place, so he wouldn't fulfill his dream. So that's a great thing, that there are plenty of people with awesome ideas, but they can't implement them. They can't do it because they lack money, for example. So you could help them. That's the great advantage, that it's kind of, if your name is Jake, then it's kind of Jake's Got Talent show. Yeah? Like you could help other people to fulfill their dreams thanks to your help. And another advantage is that you could, for those of you who have some free time and like to do business, like me, for example, you could become a mentor for them. I mean, although they will be CEOs, they will do their business, but you can help them somehow. I mean, call them or organize some meetings once a month, once a week to teach them business. Because my personal trainer, for example, wasn't a businessman before. I had been doing various businesses for almost 20 years. So I've got a lot of experiences. I've got a lot of success and even more of failures. So that's how I know the taste of business, and I can teach the guy and help him. It's in my best interest, because doing it, he's gonna do better business, which is gonna make me money also. So it's great. There's great motivation. It's a win-win transaction, and it's a pretty funny thing to do. Not for everyone, but if you like to share your knowledge, and I'm addicted of sharing my knowledge. That's why I'm talking 2 hours about passive income. But that's it. So then it could be a great advantage that you can help people with their businesses. You can teach them businesses. The disadvantage is that the CEO of the project is not you, which means that not only you have to trust them completely, because I don't have time to count the numbers of my gym. It's not my main business. I mentor the guy, but that's not my core business. It means that I am not gonna sit down with my Excel spreadsheets and count it all the time and so on. He counts everything, and at the end of the month, he tells me how much I earned. So he could cheat me as well, and I would never notice. But I accept this. Yeah, that's the part of the reality, and I trust the guy. I know that he can count. I know that he's a good guy. That's why I do it. And that's kind of disadvantage, because from time to time you will encounter a person who's not worth trusting, but you will only know it after you're gonna be cheated on. Yeah, it happens in life, and we will never avoid it. Or you're not gonna be cheated, but the person will finally turn out not to be an appropriate person. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning you think, yeah, the guy has a lot of energy, a lot of good ideas, a lot of good strategies. But once you invest in the business, you will see that the guy is slow, is lazy, or is not as genius as you thought before. It will also happen from time to time. So that's kind of disadvantage of this type of work. Okay, so I gave you probably more or less 10 ideas for passive income. Excuse me for talking for so long, but it's the vital thing in your life. Yeah, like, I mean, 95% of the people don't have any single passive income source apart from their retirement, possibly in the future. So it's a very important thing. That's why I wanted you to invest a little more time this time, but I hope it's gonna help you. It's gonna help you make some decisions. That's why I've presented to you all the maybe not all, but many disadvantages, advantages, many views, so you could choose what could be the best option for you. For some of you, doing MLM business would be the best option. For other people, investing in stocks and real estate would be the best option. Other people just need to outsource more things in their business, and they will go completely passive in a month. So it depends on your situation, country, your money, your wallet, yeah, and so on. But I hope it was helpful. See you every single Thursday on this channel. Subscribe this channel, share it with your friends, give me thumbs up, and I hope you enjoyed it. But not only that you enjoyed it, but also that it's gonna be helpful in your life, and it's gonna make you earn more money, because that's the only reason this channel exists. Thanks for today, and remember that below this video you've got 2 things to download right now. The first one is the PDF with all those passive income sources with advantages and disadvantages, and the second one is the 60 minutes video about Elon Musk's strategies, when I discuss them all and share with you the knowledge that I gained studying the guy for many hours and preparing and creating the list of his strategies. So I advise you to download it, because you're gonna have fun and you're gonna have a lot of knowledge. Thanks for today, and see you next Thursday. See you. Bye.